Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, finally switched to MTN. I hope it doesn't disappoint.
On my end, you're
Can
still
you hear me?
swirling, but hopefully it can stay. Yeah,
Okay, but can
I
you
can
hear
hear you.
me? Can you
Okay.
see me?
Note to you guys, I'm running out of battery power again. So maybe you can fire me questions really quickly so that we can I can just quickly answer them and
Okay.
get through it so that people kind of like, enjoy the question and answer section of this live.
Okay. So for the first question, you came into the industry at a time when it was
Mhm.
highly dominated by men. How did you manage to break through? How was your experience? How's been your
I've
experience
been
in the
pretty
industry so
fortunate
far?
because I think I was kind of brought onto the commercial music scene by a man. So already in a sense that kind of, JK kind of allowing
Mhm.
me to feature on his track allowed for me to kind of have that upper hand in a sense because I was brought in by a man. So not to say that you need a man to bring you in to make it easier, but it did help in kind of me being embraced as an artist, female or not. It was just like a great opening for me, and I haven't really felt. I think it's been more about the art than the fact that I'm a woman. I haven't really felt like, oh yeah, it's because I'm a woman that I'm struggling in this area or the other. It's just, being able to churn out the right kind of music for me. I think artistically is where maybe I can say I might have had challenges along the way, but I don't think that's particular to a gender. I think it's more just the struggle of being in a smaller music industry at the time. I mean, it's grown a lot now, but no, I've never really felt, like it's never been highlighted that I'm female for me anyway.
Wow, interesting. Okay, so I've read on different platforms that you were a model. So, like, what happened to your modeling career? Are you still a model, or maybe you
I was never a
incorporate your modeling
model.
into your
I
music?
don't know where this like I did a couple of modeling gigs, but I was never a model. So I just run with it now. People say, "Oh yeah, you used to have a modeling career," but
Okay.
I didn't have a modeling career. Like it just, I did a couple of pictures for a couple of companies or magazines or whatever, just because some nice people came up to me and were like, "Oh, you've got a great face," and can we take a picture? But I mean, I never
Yes, you
pursued
do.
a modeling career, so I don't know why that's stuck. I've never had a switch. It's always been about music. It's just that I guess my face was probably seen on an ad campaign before it was seen as Salma Kapiripiri. But yeah, no, I've never been a model.
Okay. So, how do you balance between being an artist, because we know it's quite involving, being a mom and also being a
Right now
wife?
I'm
Like, how
weaning my
does it work
daughter.
for you?
So if you listen really clearly, like you do this to your ears, which gives
Mm-hmm.
you like sonar power, you probably hear her crying in the background because this is like day 3 of her not being attached to her mama. So now is her bedtime and she's trying. So right now, like the Salma Sky is dying to be Salma and just go and rescue her and just be like, oh, my baby. But no, it has to happen. I need to wean her. So it's just about balance, I guess. For me, I just feel like I have to figure out the time I'm at in my life. And if that time is like, okay, right now I need to go hard and I need to be an artist, then I just get my whole support system behind me and I'm like, guys, I need to go on the road or I need to make this bomb music video and I just can't think about anything else right now. So yes, I'll put kids to bed and I'll kiss them goodnight. But probably for the most part, for the next 2 3 weeks, mommy's gonna be going hard every day and it just kind of works itself out. I mean, obviously I give all the glory to God because I think it's by his grace that all of it just works. But needless to say, yeah, I just find balance. And when I feel like, you know what, my family is suffering because my career is just consuming so much of me, I pause and I'm just like, no, my kids need me. My husband and I need each other, and we need to go on date nights, and we need to have a little local tourist getaway and feed ourselves and nourish ourselves so that we're better to be these other people that society expects us to be. Because at the end of the day, behind the brand is the person. And I think that that's the most important thing for me is I take care of Salma before I take care of Salma Sky. And whether that means that Salma Sky needs to be
Okay.
put on the back burner and Salma needs to take front seats, then I just do it. I just do it, and I'm unapologetic about it. Yay, there's power!
Wow. Before I ask the next question, I
Sorry,
must
hold on. Hold on, that's power!
finally.
Give me a second.
Okay. Okay. Hi everyone. So if you have something you'd like me to ask Salma, you can just comment and then we can ask her so that we can just make this whole interaction fun and exciting. Oh, by the way, my name is Patience from Zed Hype Mag. Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Patience from Zed Hype Mag. And I'm thrilled to be here interacting with the gorgeous
Hey,
Salma
don't laugh
Sky.
at me now. I've got power, y'all. I've got power. For those of you who laughed at me, Salma, are you still in the building? If you are, Mawana Manjeka, I've got power. We're shining. Huh? Alrighty, hold on. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Alrighty, I'm gonna have to reposition you, Patience. Give me a second.
Okay.
Hey, alrighty. I'm gonna have to find better positioning now. I've got my little blankie. I was telling everyone, let's get cozy because it's cold. But yeah, this is my woolly blankie for the studio because right now we're in my studio, my home studio.
Okay.
Eureka! So
I
now
hope
I
we
don't
can
have
have
to
a tour
rush you.
today.
I don't have to
I hope
rush
we
you
can have
now
a tour of your
because
studio.
the power's back.
Great. Okay, so I was saying before I move on to the next question, I must mention that you inspire a lot of us young women to pursue our careers. You show us that it's possible for one to pursue their career and at the same time be there for their family. So
Oh.
yeah, like you really inspire us in that area personally. I mean, you're welcome. So moving on to the next question, who has been your major inspiration in your music journey?
I'd be very long-winded. Um, you know what? I'm like a 90s R&B girl at heart. So I wish there was more
Okay.
R&B in Zambia because I feel like I would have really loved to have been part of like a collective effort to be a part of that era. But we have our own sound, and I think that that's great. But yeah, there just hasn't been a space really for like real R&B, even as Zambian artists. So it's all international, unfortunately, in terms of inspirations. But yeah, I mean, 90s is like TLC and Mariah Carey and Whitney and Aaliyah, and man, I could go on and on. Like there's so many 90s musicians, especially females for that matter. Um, so yeah. I want to make a comment to Chico Ruben. Even if it's, men need to be more involved about women and not be so selfish. Like, if this talk is only becomes about women, you should be able to embrace that. Like, men are part of women's issues as well. But no, this is not an exclusively about women's interview. It's about Salma Sky. So, and I'm a woman. So you need to kind of just hang in there and stick around for the things you are interested in.
Yeah, because there's a whole lot more to ask. And if he has anything to ask, he can comment as well so that we can get to find out from you.
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of your sound, like you have this unique sound that you introduced to the Zambian music scene, songs like Wonderful World that just have this whole international vibe to it. Like, most people that come in with new things find it hard to fit in. But how has it been
I
for
think,
you?
again, you have to be really unapologetic about your craft. That's what I think. I think, like, if you're true to who you are, then you never feel like you're doing anything wrong. If you can go to sleep at night and feel fulfilled, and you're doing obviously the morally upright thing as well, like, as long as you're sleeping well at night, you know that your grind is honorable, but on top of that, it's authentic, and it's really who you are. It's true to your true self. Then just do it. And for me, I feel like I don't wait to find a wave or a trend that I need to be on. When you guys hear my album that's coming out for 2020, I don't think anybody is expecting what they're going to hear. And that's just because I'm just not the artist that boxes themselves into one genre or what you know me for. Like, I'm willing to just completely cut across, become a whole new persona, because I'm just enjoying the vibe, and that's the music that I'm enjoying creating. And there'll be an audience for it. Like, my audience could change every 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if there's a loyalty attached to the brand, then they'll come for the ride, and appreciate that I'm artistically doing different things. And for the new audience, it's just like, welcome to the family. You know what I mean? And if they love it, they love it. And if they stick around, they stick around. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited about continuing to be the artist that you just
So who are you?
Like, for me, I think it's great to just keep on exploring. And I would advise every artist to just be free to evolve and create new sounds and new synergies, and just keep at it. Like, you could create the most beautiful fusion if you just don't limit yourself, And so for me, I feel like, why not just go ahead, create a genre, do it.
Wow. Okay, so who are you? Like, if you were to pick, maybe not based on their personalities, but their art, who would be your top 5 artists here in Zambia?
But that would be unfair. You can't ask me a question like that. Not in my industry.
I know. Okay. Maybe you could just list them. Maybe not limiting you to 5. You can just list them.
I'd rather not, to be fair. I respect all my peers. And listen, I'll tell you something about Zambian artists. We may not all seem, kind of put together in terms of our cliques, or like, oh, does so-and-so vibe with so-and-so because you've never seen so-and-so with so-and-so. But you'll be amazed the kind of discussions that go on behind the scenes, and the artists that I speak to in the industry, that people will be like, what? Salma chats with so-and-so on WhatsApp. Like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where, like, my deepest respect for a Zambian artist is probably not the Zambian artist that you would imagine that I have respect for. And so I personally, that's why I wouldn't answer the question, is because I just feel like, I don't want to discredit anybody by saying somebody and then not saying someone else, because then people misinterpret things, and I'm not about mess. So we're not going to do that. They're not gonna do that. I respect everybody. Like I watch everyone's hustle, and when I love something, I love it. I'm also a person that never holds back. Like if I think somebody is doing an amazing job, I'm the type to double tap. I don't care what other thing is going on in your life or your career. Like if you put out a great music video, or if you put out a great song and you've got some other controversial thing attached to you, for me it's about double clicking on your song because you did the thing. So I want to shout out specifically to Maki too, because the brother did it. I don't know if you've seen his video that he put out today with me. Yeah, to me that's fire.
Yeah, I
And
have
anyone who knows me, like, you know,
Homepage.
I'm a sucker for visuals. I don't just put out music videos, I put out high quality music videos. When I see another one, I'm just like, yes, thank you. So I loved it. And of course the sound and the music, like it just all came well together. So shout out to my too. If you haven't watched this video, go watch it,
Definitely.
guys. All 25 of you.
Okay, speaking of Miss, you're one artist that has maintained sort of a clean profile throughout. You've been in the industry for over 10 years, and you're one of those people that have maintained a clean profile. Like, how do you just do it? That people that would come on the music scene for only a year and there's so much bad news about them, but how
Uh,
do you do it?
I think it's just your personality, to be honest. I mean, if people want to attack you and you're just going about your business, it doesn't stick. Because then people, they don't pay attention to it. You know, like if you're just like, okay, you know, I'm here to do my thing. And of course, there'll always be naysayers and they're haters. And then there are people who are just out there to discredit your career. That's a whole different thing because that's just the comment section going wild. But if you are an artist that is like deliberately getting involved in mess, then I guess that's how you want to brand yourself and you're willing to run with it. For me, my personality is just, I just generally I don't deal with drama. Like I'm just not, it's just not my thing. It's not me. So it's easy in that sense. Like I just don't. It's not. I like positive vibes. I know my tribe, and I stick to it. And yeah, I just keep it pushing.
Wow, nice. And also, like over the years, Zambian music has quite evolved and improved, like you mentioned earlier. Like, what would be some of your best moments in the Zambian music industry? Like some of those moments that you look back to and feel like they highly contributed to the growth of Zambian
My
music,
personal
even
moments.
your music.
Um,
Yeah.
I definitely think Big Brother was also a really big opportunity for me. Um, Yeah. I
Oh
mean, my
yeah.
first performance, I look back at it and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I was so young and like I didn't know what I was doing. But I was so honored at the time and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I had such a great opportunity as an like, you know, fresh out the door artist. So that was great. But the second time I went and Sulu and I did the Ruby performance, that was a finale show. My husband always has the stats and he always says it like in terms of the amount of eyeballs that you get for that the Big Brother property as a television property would get for a finale show. Like for me, that put Zambia on the map. Like even if you didn't
Mhm.
care for a Zambian housemate in the entire time that you've ever watched Big Brother and all the seasons, like Sulu and I did the thing that night. And like I feel like that really helped Zambian music have, you know, a shine, even if it was for a moment. But just like, hey, people loved Sulu as a personality in the house. And then here came pregnant Salma with some vocals. Like, you know, it
Yeah.
was just kind of like very whimsical collab. I mean, everyone was just like, okay, there's this like pregnant songstress that he's brought from his country, and they're parading up and down the stage, and it's a surprise performance because all the housemates don't know about it. Like it was so effective at making Zambia known, even though he didn't win.
Mhm.
So I kind of feel like Sulu won in a sense, and Zambia won in a sense just based on that performance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it really did give us like propel us as a country, and definitely for me, I mean, the continent knows me. Well, for Kapiri Piri as well, but I think Ruby was a bit more viral in how quickly it caught on across the continent. So yeah, that's one of the, like, I think highlights that I can feel like achievements in my career, where I feel like it's done something for the music scene here in Zambia. And then yeah, I mean, like my latest big performance, well, I was meant to go again this year to SXSW, which is South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. Of course, because of COVID, this year got canceled. Obviously, they're all revisiting when it can be done again. But, last year was amazing. I had to go with my tiny little daughter at the time, and I still had to kill it and represent Zambia because myself and Urban Hype were selected to represent Zambia. Unfortunately, my brothers didn't make it to the States, but I went, and yeah, people were like, "Is it Gambia?" And I was like, "No, it's Zambia." They were like, "Okay." And I was very, very
It's
clear, like, "No, I'm not from Gambia. I'm not from South Africa. I'm from Zambia." And yeah, I got so many supporters,
wow.
like new followers. South by is so cosmopolitan in terms of its attendance of people from all over the world. So yeah, I got, people following me from, they're just like, "Oh, who's she on stage?" And then they're like, "Oh, that's Salma Sky, she's from Zambia." And then I just see, like, go back to my hotel and I see, like, I've got all these new followers from all over the world. And I'm just like, "Oh, okay, this is really cool." So even if it was just for that one moment, Zambia shined. And yeah, I'm really grateful to just be a part of how it all pans out and the impact that we have when we go out there to represent our country. Yeah, it's been cool, man. It's been so cool.
We're so proud to have you. I think that's
Thank
what, like,
you.
we're really proud to have you. Okay, and speaking of COVID-19, how has it affected you as an artist and also as a mom?
COVID's been, for me, I mean, obviously, not to downplay how much of a negative impact it's had on the world. Because obviously my heart is definitely with everybody who's
Mhm.
affected or directly impacted by the pandemic. But for me personally, I appreciated the downtime because I got to create without having to think about all the other different things that I have to do as an artist. Because there's not just the music.
Mhm.
There's the visuals, there's endorsements, there's all the brand meetings that you have to have with people, there's trying to create different revenue streams. There's so much that goes into, if you want to be a well-rounded artist, at least, then those are the things you need to be exploring other than just making the music. But when you're forced to be like, okay, you can't go out, you can't really have meetings. I mean, they're going to be done on email anyway, so you're still stuck at home. Yeah, I just put on my pajamas every day and I made great music. Like when it was at its peak, especially when, things got canceled, travel got canceled with all the plans that we had for the first quarter. I was just like, if I don't get a good crate of beats now and start making music, I'm going to get depressed because things are not working out. So that's exactly what I did. I got producers to send me music. I just threw myself entirely into creating and appreciating this time just to make a great project. And here I have an album that I'm so proud of. Like, it's just, it's been fantastic for me as a creative because I appreciate the downtime. But yeah, I mean, obviously, we want to be on stage. We want to be physically interacting with our fans and our supporters. We want the gigs that pay well, but we can't have them. It's tough. But again, if you're good about the business of things as an artist, then by now you should be smart enough to make sure that you have other revenue streams that can keep you and sustain you even in times like this. And I'm very fortunate that over the last couple of years, I have made sure that I have done that. So financially, I feel quite secure. But I do want to be out there and, and just be a part of the music being alive, in the yeah, I just like I went to Mtendere today and I was just like, oh, it's so nice to hear, like when you go into high density areas and of course there's always music playing, like you have one speaker and then 100 meters away you have another speaker and it's either Nicki Minaj or like, but it was just nice to hear like all different Zambian artists as we were going through Mtendere, and I was just like, okay, you know what, we're doing really great and our people are listening to us. So even though we're not able to be out, like we're making great music. So yeah, but we'll be okay. And for me as a mother, hey, I'm used to my kids. I've got 4 kids. You have to be used to it when you've got 4 kids.
Okay. Um, you talked about dropping a new album soon. Are there any new singles that you've released already that we should expect in the
Okay,
coming
so
album?
basically what I'm doing is I'm doing a double release this year. And a lot of people
Okay.
a lot of people have been wanting, of course, the music that they know and love me for. And I'm so grateful for the 10-year journey with you guys, because, yeah, you made the music last and you gave it longevity and you've embraced me as an artist and you've said, look, we'll ride with you. And that's why those songs are successful. And so, obviously, for me as an entrepreneur and as a musician that's, trying to stay fed, I haven't given out all my material for free. We've been in, many um, different positions where we're like, okay, here we'll just share the link and let's give it out, and there's a free download link and whatnot. But it's very, very important. And now, even with the way the year has gone, it's very important to support um, your artists by buying their music. And so I would really, really encourage everyone on here,
Yeah.
please, please, please don't pirate music. Just don't. Stream it. Now you don't even have the issue of saying, oh no, but you haven't made it available, so we just found a way to get it. And that's how we got it. Now you can stream. And even that streaming allows us to earn a revenue share. And that streaming is something which your data, with all the multiple data plans that are there, you're able to just enjoy the music and not be robbing us of our intellectual property. So I really feel like, please, 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 guys, don't pirate music. And for that reason is the reason why I'm going to be releasing the 10 years album, which is basically the best of Salma Sky. It also includes projects that none of you have ever heard, but it is basically the body of work, a selected portion of the body of work that I've done for the last